As anyone knows that's followed my videos over a period of time, I'm a fan of the Time magazine. This one is the one dated the 29th of December 2008. There's a lot of articles in it that really speak to me about President-elect Obama. You know, as the smallest of the small school kind of player and played on a few bigger teams, but mainly small-time ball player, basketball, or any other kind of ball. And did a little coaching, but at the very lowest level. Yet, I particularly appreciated an article in this Time magazine, B-Ball with Barack. It's written by a coach who just happens to be the brother of Mrs. Obama. So now he's Obama's brother-in-law. And Robinson, first name Craig, was a two-time Ivy League Player of the Year at Princeton in the early 80s. And he's now the head men's basketball coach at Oregon State University. Excuse me. Well, Mr. Coach Robinson starts his article out by saying that my father, Frazier Robinson, and my basketball coach, Hall of Famer Pete Carroll, used to say the same thing on the court. You can tell who is a selfish jerk. Well, and let's just say they used a less printable word than jerk. He goes on to say that when Michelle started dating Barack, he was interested and he was impressed that his sister was really interested in this fellow, and was complimented when she said, quote, "I want you to take him to play to see what type of guy he is when he's not around me." Back to what Mr. Robinson, Coach Robinson, has written. So I invited Barack to play pickup hoops with a few friends of mine in Chicago. Some of these guys had played college ball, some hadn't. But they were all pretty good players. I like to think I was the first guy to vet him. Check him out, in other words. Then he goes on to say that he was nervous about the whole thing because his sister hadn't been real serious about very many people, and he was rooting for Barack. But then he understood. His sister wanted to be sure she was seeing the real man, and she believed that you can find out, just like her dad and that coach of Mr. Robinson's had thought. Tell a lot about him on the basketball court. And he said, Coach Robinson says, I was rooting for him privately because I didn't want to be the one to tell her that he's not what you're looking for in the games. Coach Robinson complimented Barack Obama by saying that he was the real McCoy, that they'd played a hard 5-on-5, that changed the membership of the Fives around, and that he wasn't the best guy out there, he wasn't the worst. But what the coach liked about him was that he was competent, but he wasn't cocky. He wasn't talking trash. And that Barack was a team-oriented, very unselfish player. And he fit in like he was one of us. Oh, I like that thought. A president that can fit in like he's one of us. And I know it'll be increasingly hard for him to do that with all that dadgum security that's absolutely essential. And all of the kowtowing and looking up and treating him like he's God Almighty. But I still think he just might remember he is one of us. The coach goes on to say that the best part of all in that process of checking him out was that when they were on the same team, Barack did not make it a habit to pass to him every chance he had. In other words, kiss up to him, trying to get his vote of confidence that he's a good guy. And that's the thing that the coach liked most of all. So he said he was relieved to go to his sister and say, quote, "Your boy is straight, and he can ball. He can play ball." Then he goes on to say that people always ask me to describe his game. Well, he has a nice outside shot. It's gotten better over the years. That happens to all of us. As we slow down, can't drive as well as we were younger. Can't go to the basket as easily, is the way he put it. He's very thin, but he's not weak. He's extremely left-handed, and most left-handed guys are better going to the right, but he's better going left. I'll have to work on him as a coach. I'll have to work on him a little on that. He ends up, part I'm going to quote anyway, saying that basketball is very therapeutic for Barack Obama. He's always in a great mood before and after he's played. He looks forward to it. About 40 of the gang got together on Election Day in Chicago with an unspoken non-aggression pact. None of us wanted to give the president-elect a fat lip in case he got to make a victory speech that night. And also, we wanted to be in shape to take part in the festivities ourselves if he got elected. So what does his game say about him? According to the coach, well, he's competitive yet inclusive. He's unselfish, which, where I come from, I'm quoting the coach, where I come from, being unselfish is the greatest compliment you can give both a player and a leader. And he's consistent. I think it's great that Mrs. Obama asked for the vetting by the coach, her brother. Glad the president-elect passed, and I think he did with flying colors. Sure looking forward to him doing a heck of a job dealing with the impossible.